Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Friday the 23rd of August 2024. And Celtic have finally got off their arses and filled in the paperwork required to transfer Daniel Kelly to Millwall. Unfortunately, or was it deliberate, they waited until after 12 PM on Friday, which means he cannot be involved in tomorrow's game. Boo! Because I think it's 24 hours before the game the player needs to be registered, and that's another thing, obviously, in terms of the early season, about signing players. I'm sure that maybe there are other clubs up and down the country who signed players yesterday. If they've got 12:30 kickoffs on Sky Sports Plus, they couldn't get those players signed in time for that early kickoff, which is annoying, but hey ho, here we go. But it has been done, and this is obviously, does it matter about tomorrow? No, not really. This is a player for the future, ladies and gentlemen. This is a young 18-year-old star out of Scotland, and he has joined Millwall. So here we go. Daniel Kelly signs for Millwall. This is from millfc.co.uk. Millwall Football Club is delighted to announce the signing of Daniel Kelly for an undisclosed fee from Celtic. The highly rated midfielder, who attracted a vast amount of interest over the summer, becomes the Lions' 7th signing of the summer and arrives on a long-term deal at the Den. The 18-year-old Scottish midfielder joins from the boys, having made 6 first-team appearances in the 23-24 campaign. After his performance in Celtic B's team caught the eye of manager Brendan Rodgers. Featuring in the midfield in competitions such as the UEFA Youth League, Kelly played his part in the Celts' successful 2023 Glasgow Cup campaign. A Scottish Premiership debut against Dundee also saw Daniel's first goal for Celtic, as his late arrival into the box allowed him to fire home and open his account in green and white. Kelly has represented his country on numerous occasions across both the under-18 and under-19 sides, so an international as well. And here we have quotes from Steve Gallen. So, Daniel is a player that's been on the club's radar for some time and highlighted to me upon my arrival, said Steve Gallen, the Lions director of football. So, fair play. So, he's saying... So Steve Gallen coming out saying, "Oh, it's not my idea to sign him. It was already in the woodwork." Interesting stuff there. You can see he's already fitting into the London scene. You can see on his arm he has a white band where his watch would have been. So he's obviously been keeping up with the news in Sadiq Khan, London, about people being stabbed up for their watches. So he knows the score. He's taking his watch off. Good idea. It's been no secret that he's attracted a lot of interest. We've been working on this deal all summer, and we're delighted that he sees his long-term future with Millwall. He's exactly the type of profile we want to bring in. Like, he's a young box-to-box midfielder, athletic, dynamic, and I feel he's a bright future and can add a real quality to the squad. Our aim and vision is to create assets for this football club and bring in younger players, as well as promoting players from our academy. We want to make a team and a club that's sustainable, exciting, and developing lots of athletic type players over the next few years. Daniel ticks a lot of boxes for us, and I'm sure everybody joins me in wishing him the very best here. Daniel will not be a part of the Lions squad in Hull on Saturday, as the deal was completed after Friday lunchtime's deadline, but he will look to feature at the Den next week. One assumes in the Leyton Orient game. I imagine he could start that, no problem. I mean, no offence to Leyton Orient, but if he's any good, if he's as good as they say they are, playing against a League One team should not be a problem. But we wait and see. We have, of course, pictures. They have to take the pictures. That's how it goes. Behind the scenes, as Kelly becomes a Lion. Obviously, these weren't done. These were done the other day. We saw there was a leaked photo that we saw. Was it Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday. So here we go. Daniel Kelly signed for Millwall on a long-term contract on Friday, and supporters can now take a look behind the scenes as the Scot put pen to paper in SE16. A gallery of images can be seen below. Hang on a minute. Let's go back. What's going on here? Oh, okay. I thought he was using the pen in his left hand and then right hand in the other photo. So there you can see number 16. Number 16. 1 and 6. 16. Wicket Group, sponsors of the shirt. Mike Guava, sponsor of the team shirt. As mentioned, he's already learned, take your watches off when you're in London, in case you get stabbed up. Wearing his sky blue boots. There you go. Done and done. Now, one Scot in, one Scot out. Them's the rules. Well, we still got Murray Wallace though, so... Although, I wonder if you can have two Scots without them arguing. I don't know. We'll see how that works out. This is from the dailyrecord.co.uk. They've been a bastion of decent news about Millwall recently. They love Millwall stories. And here we go. Kevin Nisbet tells Millwall that he wants Aberdeen FC transfer as England Championship suitors swerved. The Dons are currently talking over a loan deal for the season after Jimmy Phelan made him his top target. So there you go. He's saying he wants what he wants. And that's that. And that's probably the reason why he hasn't done well here. Bit of an egotist. What do you call main character syndrome? And it's not hard to see why. Like, he was the main man for Hibernian. He was a star boy, a golden boy, but when he came down to Millwall, he wasn't no more. And then he got injured. Well, of course, that's a bit unfortunate. But so I think our star player at the moment would be Fleming, and then after him it's probably be Essay. And there are others, obviously, who are fans' favourites. But, if the fans ain't got a song about you, you're not really the golden boy. You can't really claim that kind of title. So, there you go. But he's telling Millwall what he wants to do. Kevin Nisbet has told Millwall that he wants to join Aberdeen. Record Sport broke the story last week that Jimmy Phelan had made the Scotland striker his top target. The Dons are currently in talks over a loan deal for the season. Nisbet has made it clear to the Lions hierarchy that he wants to make the switch to Pittodrie. There is also English Championship interest, but his preference is a return to Scotland. Who in the Championship will take him? Maybe Cardiff, maybe Preston, Hull? No, probably not. I don't know. Maybe Plymouth. Well, they've just signed over Femi, so... Nisbet is keen to get back playing and to force his way back into the national team squad. The 27-year-old feels moving to on-form Aberdeen can help him achieve that. Nisbet missed the last Euros because he was coming back from a serious injury. The striker also has a proven goal scoring in the Premiership with Hibs. That's it. So there you go. So one would imagine that Mr. Kevin Nisbet will not be in the squad for tomorrow's game, like he wasn't in the squad for the last game. Obviously, claimed to be injured. And now he's telling me all that he wants to go to Aberdeen. So there you go. One in, one out. And another potential incoming. This was reported by walesonline.co.uk at 4 o'clock today. Millwall keen on Bluebird star. Well, not really a star. So yeah, not the picture. That's not what we were into. Mill keen on Wintle. Wee Willie Wintle. Millwall are among a number of Championship teams interested in Ryan Wintle, with a club in Turkey also shown interest. The Bluebirds midfielder has been deemed surplus to requirements by manager Errol Bullitt, who yesterday urged him to make a decision on where he will go and accept one of the offers on the table. So the manager wants him out, which is weird because he played a lot of games last season. So I don't know if something's gone on. Obviously, I think the manager's Turkish, so I don't know if he's got he's had a bit of a tete-a-tete. We know they are quite passionate race of people, the Turks. No offence, you know what they are. So maybe there was a some kind of incident and he wants him gone, or he just wants him gone because he wants to free up some space to bring in other players, which they need because they are in the same boat as us in terms of pointless. Cardiff, Preston and Millwall, 0 points. Nil point. Por favor. Wales Online. So Millwall, he said, so it says here, urged him to make a decision on where he will go and accept one of the offers on the table. So there are a number of offers. We know Millwall, we know Turkey, and this is a number of other championship teams. So I would say, maybe 2, so 4 offers. And he has to take one of them. Because he ain't sticking around. Or he could stick around, he could say no and just see it out, and then that's going to be eggy for him, but he is what he is. So there you go. He is kind of a defensive midfielder type. Wales Online has learned that Neil Harris says Millwall are just one of the teams who have shown strong interest in signing the 27-year-old. Other rival clubs in Cardiff's division have also registered interest, while a move abroad to Turkey looks unlikely at this stage. Of course, the midfielder signed a new contract last year and could even decide to stay at the club, despite the manager having told him he will not feature for him while he is at the helm. So again, some kind of falling out. Kind of weird because the manager was there last season and he played a lot of games last season. Don't know what's going on there. Wintle now has a week to make a decision, with the transfer window closing on August 30th. So no mention here whether that will be a loan or a permanent. So we don't know how that goes, but seems to be a decent squad player, kind of player, like a solid type. Nothing spectacular, just decently solid. So I don't know if that's anything to get excited about. Just another body in the building. We also have a signing for the under-21s. Already a bit of a success story. This young lad here, Rafiq Lamptey, he joins the Millwall under-21s. He was one of the players who was on trial. I don't know if he's trialist A, B, C, D, E, F, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, or whatever trialist he was. But he has turned that trial into a contract, because he is signed for Millwall under-21s. The midfielder, previously of Brentford and Watford's academy sides, impressed last campaign when he played for Harrow Borough under-18s. Lamptey, although a central midfielder by trade, can play in defence too, due to his ability in and out of position. Rafiq featured for the under-21 side in pre-season, chipping in with assists against Cray Wanderers and Dale Jamlet. Now, I wonder how they saw him playing for Harrow Borough under-18s. I don't know. Maybe they had a decent run in the FA Youth Cup, because I know, maybe like 3 years ago now, 4 years ago, Dale Jamlet had a really good run in the FA Youth Cup, and some of those players moved on to league teams, so I don't know if it was that, but here we go. He featured for the under-21 side in pre-season, chipping in with assists against Cray Wanderers and Dulwich Hamlet. Speaking on the move, Rafiq said, I'm really excited to get a move done. It's been a long time coming. The under-21s have been successful over the last few seasons, with Lamptey adding, they're a great group. Watching them from afar over the last few seasons has obviously made me want to be part of the success. The pathway to the first team is clear here, As a kid, you always dream of playing first team football, and hopefully, if I keep working hard, I will be able to impress. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Just look at that. That is an example for you to follow. Romain Esse. If he can do it, if Andy Massey can do it, you too can do it. Why not? Just keep your head down and work hard. Now, moving on to some stories from the press. This is from South London Press, londonnewsonline.co.uk. World-class goals. Millwall boss on transfer window swoop for Reading attacker Femi Azeezs. Millwall head coach Neil Harris is hoping to help Femi Azeezs kick his game onto a new level after the winger's £1 million move to SC16. How do we know it was a £1 million move? Is that confirmed? Obviously, Millwall didn't mention that. Did Reading mention it? Because obviously Reading are in a bit of a doo-doo, but I think they've got new owners coming in now. Maybe they wanted to make it out, okay, this is how much we got for him. The Lions landed the Reading winger on Wednesday And the 23-year-old, who has signed a long-term deal, is set to be in their squad for tomorrow's championship match at Hull City. Azeezs scored 9 goals and collected 8 assists for the Royals last season. The left-footed attacker has tended to play on the right for the League One club. Yeah, in-swinging balls. You get the in-swinging balls, because here's the thing. Back in the day, the wingers would go all the way down to the touchline and then ping it in. They don't do that no more. They cut inside. They're not wingers. They're not out. They're not left wing, right wing. They're outside rights and outside lefts. That's how it is. And if you can come in from the side that your foot isn't, when you kick it in, when you do cross it in, it's in swinging. And then the striker either gets it or it just causes correct chaos in the defence. Whereas the other way, where the winger will go down to the touchline, ping it in, if no one gets it, it just usually goes out for a throw-in or it goes out for a goal kick. So, there you go. The left-footed attacker has tended to play on the right for the League One club. I'm delighted to get Femi on board. We've chased him for the majority of the summer, said Harris. He's been identified by the football club for a period now. He's an exciting prospect and one of the top performers in the league below. He's clearly ready to make the step up to the transition. Well, he was to the championship. He was in the championship before. He's actually played quite a few games in the championship already. And he's only 23. I've seen him firsthand over the last couple of seasons and the development he's shown. He brings real pace and power to the attacking unit. He's a good 1v1 player, and I'm sure Reading fans are going to miss his end product and goals. Millwall fans would have seen his world-class goals and hope to see them replicated in a Millwall shirt. He's got the ability on the transition to attack space and carry the ball up the pitch, but also in tight areas. He can go past people and be creative. Millwall's hierarchy are determined to drive down the age of the squad and add players who can have major resale value in the future. Harris said, Femi's been predominantly played off the right-hand side, but I've seen him also on the left and be creative. We think we can help develop his game. We're seeing huge development in Romania, say at the moment, with the work that's been carried out over the last 12 months, and Adomo Mako is as well, in a way that he's learning about the game. We hope to do the same with Femi and give him the platform to showcase his talents back in the Championship again, where he started. Millwall still want to add striker Josh Coburn to their ranks, but at the time of our paper going to press, had not agreed a deal with Middlesbrough. The T-side has valued the 21-year-old who's under contract until the summer of 2027 at more than $3 million. So that is interesting. So that's a weird little line to add in. Are they trying to sell him? Because I thought this was a loan deal. If Mill buy him for $3 million, I mean, damn, we just spent $1 million on Nisbet. That didn't go well. I mean, if we spend $3 million on Coburn and that goes tits up, I mean, fucking hell, that's gonna be a rough one. If we spend $3 million, I'll be amazed actually. So yeah, but that's a weird little line. I thought it was a loan move we were trying to get. Maybe here's the thing. Maybe they have a price. He's got a contract that doesn't run out next season, so it goes for a while. Maybe if they put up a price tag on him, and if someone comes in for the price tag, he's off. Maybe Hull, we'll get onto that in a minute. Hull have lost their striker. Maybe Hull, because that's nearby. Maybe the lad wants to stay up there, because he started for Sunderland, moved to Middlesbrough. Maybe he goes to Hull. So $3 million. So if someone pays the $3 million, they'll sell him. And then on the last day of the transfer window, if no one's going to pay the $3 million, maybe they'll take loan offers, and it's up to the lad, where do you want to go out on loan? So maybe it's that. So we'll see. But there you go. Now, moving on to George Saville from the South London Press, londonnewsonline.co.uk. Mill's George Saville's squad strength is so vital in the Championship. Indeed it is. George Saville knows that Mill will need to add to their squad before the summer transfer window shuts, even if that means him facing a greater challenge for a starting spot. Lions head coach Neil Harris growing frustrations at a lack of incoming business has been apparent in recent weeks in some of his post-match comments. Harris felt that the extra quality that Bristol City were able to bring on proved to be a crucial tipping point in the contest, as Millwall, who fought back from 2-0 down to lead 3-2, lost 4-3 at Ashton Gate. The South London club have progressed in the EFL Cup, a 1-0 victory at Portsmouth, but have suffered back-to-back Championship losses since the season started. Millwall did make a transfer breakthrough on Wednesday with the signing of Reading winger Femi Azeezs in a deal that is set to cost in the region of £1 million. Saville spoke to the South London press earlier this week before the Azeezs switch had happened. With what we've got in the building, there are a lot of positives to take, said Saville, who needs 5 more appearances for the milestone of 300 in Millwall shirt. There's no denying that the squad has been thin and it's a massive talking point, but in terms of performances, we were the better team against Watford and deserved to win that game. It was a good performance against Portsmouth, and then on Saturday we deserved something out of the game. At Portsmouth we changed the team, and then at 60 minutes he brings me on, Lenny and Bradders, for half an hour. They are 3 good subs, and that's no disrespect to the ones who made at the weekend, but because we're light on numbers, we've got Lenny playing at right midfield for 15 minutes at the end. I don't think he's played right midfield in his career. It's difficult because the gaffer's got the players to bring in, hasn't got the players to bring in. Subs are really important at this level. We're doing the best we can, and by no means does that mean we're not competing in games. Yeah, it's difficult at the moment, but we could easily be sat here saying we've won 2 games or we've got a win and a draw. Then the conversation is completely different. It's harder when you're losing games of football. Saville triggered a 12-month contract extension last season, which was based on appearances. So how do players truly feel if they see a new player walking into the training ground who will be a direct rival? Harris has identified central midfield as an area he wants to bolster. I'm 31 now, so it's a bit different in terms of how I look at the game, said Saville. When you're younger and you lose a game, then you think the world is coming to an end, and what am I going to do? Am I going to get back in the team? But this football club needs players in the door, whether that's in my position or elsewhere. We need good, healthy competition. It's 46 games in the Championship. It's hard to play everyone. And we've got cup games on top of that. You need bodies and competition for places for sure. Millwall finished the previous campaign with 5 straight victories. Saville, a veteran of Championship football, knows how quickly fortunes can change. There's no panic, said the Northern Ireland international. It's obviously not ideal to lose the first 2 games. The manner we've lost him is hard to take, but both the manner of the goals and conceding so late, and we're not used to conceding goals. How we're conceding them. Last season we would have lost back-to-back games a handful of times, but then you go and get 1 win and then follow it up with another. This league can turn on its head. You see Sheffield Wednesday win 4-0 and then they've lost 4-0. We need to get a bit of consistency and try and get back in the momentum that we had at the end of last season. It's important to stay patient. Last season was slightly different. The gaffer came in later and we were in a bad spot. We had to grind and fight for everything at that stage. It wasn't about prettiness and what we looked like playing. It was just about winning. It still is, but we want to develop and become a better team. And you've seen glimpses of that. You can say we're attacking more, so that's why we're conceding more. But if you watch the goals, apart from Bristol's third, we were not getting carved open or played off the park. We made silly errors all over the pitch. So there you go. Make of that what you will. No comment from me. Moving on to this, also from the London News Online, South London Press, obviously published on a Friday. So lots of stories from them today. Ban served and game ready. Japhet Tanganga fired up for Millwall career to resume and talks Tottenham Hotspur exit. Japhet Tanganga's season can start in earnest tomorrow at Hull City's MKM Stadium, with the centre-back expected to come straight into Millwall's team. The 25-year-old has been forced to sit out the opening 3 matches of the 24-25 campaign as he served the suspension for his dismissal at Swansea City in early May. Tanganga's return to Neil Harris's squad would already have been welcome, even without the Lions' difficult start, which has seen them concede 7 goals in their opening 2 Championship matches. Millwall showed patience and persistence to push for a deal for the former England under-21 international in July. Tanganga initially signed on loan for the South Londoners in the middle of January from Tottenham. Then Spurs opted to take up a 12-month contract extension instead, released the Hackney-born player this summer. Tanganga was a hit at the Lions, particularly after Neil Harris's return to replace Joe Edwards as head coach in February. Not only did he provide defensive steel and stability, but also a couple of crucial goals. The opener, a 2-1 win at Southampton to ensure a successful first game back in the Millwall dugout for Harris, and netted in the 1-0 victory over Birmingham in SC16. Tanganga and Swan striker Jerry Yates both saw red on the final day of the previous campaign after clashing off the ball in South Wales. You know, it's hard, but I've only got myself to blame for that situation, said Tanganga, talking to the South London press about his ban. It kind of worked out for me because I came a bit later into Mill's pre-season, so I've been able to do extra sessions in training. It's felt a long time, but now it's all over. I'm ready to go. I was involved in all that pre-season games, except Southampton. I played for the under-23s against Burnley. Tanganga featured 50 times at senior level for Spurs, including featuring in European ties, but even before he made the switch to Augsburg at the end of the last summer transfer window, a deal aborted at the start of 2024 after he did not play a single competitive minute for the Bundesliga club. He felt his Tottenham exit was inevitable. You know, it got to that point for myself in my career that it felt like I needed to move on, said Tanganga, pictured above. It didn't go well as I wanted in Germany, but, thankfully, when I had the second part of the loan at Millwall, it did go well, and that cemented it for me, that I needed to get that regular game time somewhere else. There are things, when I look back on my time at Spurs, I wish had happened, but I don't have any regrets. I look at myself and I had quite a few injuries. I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason, and I'm a big believer in God. That should be a capital G, South London Press, G, God. I felt that was a moment to teach me about my body and do the right things to get my body into the best physical condition to play all those games. Unfortunately, I had quite a few injuries and a lot of managerial changes, and that's maybe why I didn't play as much as I'd like to. I came from the new academy at 9 years old, so to get to the first team is an amazing achievement and something I'll always cherish. I wanted more, but it's all good. Tanganga picks out breaking into Tottenham senior squad in 2019 and featuring in a friendly against Juventus in Singapore as a highlight. They were short of centre-backs and I thought I was just going out there to help up with the numbers, he said. Then I saw my name was on the team sheet and I was playing against the likes of Ronaldo, Gonzalo, Higuain, Mutiede, big players. Tanganga was handed his debut by Mauricio Pochettino in an EFL Cup tie at Colchester United. By the time he got his first minutes in the Premier League, it was the legendary Jose Mourinho at the helm. So high-profile bosses in England's elite division more aloof to players than Harris. It just depends on their characteristics, also at the level of the team, said Tanganga. I don't want anyone to shoot me for this, but I see the resemblance between Mourinho and the gaffer here in how they manage people, and it is their character which helps to galvanise the team. Tanganga had never been cast in the role of a free agent until his time at Spurs ended. Normally, people say that the more options than the better, but it was quite tough because I had to think about a lot of things. Am I going to play? Am I going to fit in? Is this the right move for me? Do I need to move here? And will this work for my family? What was really important was continuing the level of performance that I was putting in and the consistent amount of games I was playing. And that was definitely one of my biggest factors. I was speaking to the manager and he was constantly letting me know what he thought about and how he saw things going. My period at Spurs, it was tough in terms of injuries and not playing consistency. And I felt any chance I had to do that, I had to take it. And Mill was the right step for me to take. Being appreciated is definitely a reason why you want to go to the team, and I'm very thankful. The Lions cannot expect to put points on the board if they continue to be breached as frequently as they have been against Watford and Bristol City. What helped us is that run at the back end of last season has been being defensively solid, said Tanganga. There are mistakes that we need to iron out. You can do all the hard work in pre-season, but it doesn't resemble a competitive match when there are points on the line. It can be about getting into a rhythm and the small details. I'm aiming high with the team to finish higher than we did last season. The run we put together clearly shows we have the capabilities to do it. Indeed we do. And you are set to be a big part of that. Is this the missing piece of the puzzle? If Tanganga comes in tomorrow, does the defence suddenly shape up? Hopefully. Now we're going to move on to previewing the game, although by the time this gets uploaded, it's going to be quite short notice because obviously the game is 12:30 kickoff tomorrow. If you didn't know that, it's on Sky Sports Plus, 12:30 kickoff. We have some fortuitous circumstances have preceded the game. This is from wholedailymail.co.uk, Whole Live. Hull City striker Oscar Stupinan on verge of sealing Mexico transfer. City's Colombian hitman has played his last game for the Tigers. This was put up at 9 o'clock tonight. He will not be in the squad for Saturday's clash with Millwall, as he flies to South America to seal a permanent move away from the club. Tigers owner revealed to Whole Live on Friday afternoon that the 27-year-old striker was heading for the exit door after making clear his wish to return to South America, and a deal to join Mexican outfit FC Juarez has been agreed. Well. Someone should buy that man a hat list, because Mexico is not in South America. It is in Central America, my friend, or North America, even, if you were to say that. Damn, so he scores quite a few goals for them. I don't know if this has been ongoing for a while and it's just happened now, but damn, this is a bit of good luck for us, no? So there you go. Their main threat up front has gone. Obviously, he helped us out the other year when he got sent off. So when he got sent off for did he elbow Jay Cooper? He got sent off for that, and helped us come back in that game. Now, moving on to this, it is 11v11.com. It is the historical list of all the matches played between Millwall and Hull, head to head. I've sorted it so it's Hull City first versus Millwall, so Hull at home versus Millwall. And you can see, ladies and gentlemen, or gentlemen and gentlemen, most of the players people who watch this are gentlemen, that club has been a wasteland for Millwall. Plenty of red. Now, we ain't played them that many times. There's a massive gap between 1933 and 1962. We did not win until about 14 or 15 games in. So we travelled 14 times up to Kingston upon Hull from 1929 to 1973, and we had one win. A 2-0 win in 17th of February 1973. A 2-0 win. And that was a purple patch, because the 3 games after that were 3 draws. But then we go back to, that includes not having a win until 1988. Obviously, the famous game on the 2nd of May 1988, the season we got promoted from the 2nd Division to the 1st Division, which made that victory so much special, in that was only the 2nd time ever that we won up a Hull. 2nd time ever. All of these games, you can see here, all of them. The 2nd time we won up a Hull was in 1988. So you can see, this is not a good ground for us. We don't win a lot of times up here. Obviously, that was the old ground. They've got the new ground now, but when did that get built? Must have been at least 2012. So you can see, doesn't seem to have changed that much. We have won a few more times. So, 2nd one in 1988, the 3rd one in 2011, the 4th one in 2018, and the 5th one, the last win up at Hull, was in July 2020. Yes, July, when the season got delayed. That was the last time we won. And since then, it's been 3 defeats in a row. 1, 2, 3. Oh dear. Have we gone back to our ways of losing up at Hull City? So a draw tomorrow would be a good result in terms of the history of travelling up to Hull. But obviously, at the moment, we're pointless. We're one of 3 teams that are pointless. We need as many points as we can get. So, but indeed, a draw would be a good result historically. And we haven't even drawn that many times either. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've drawn 8 times. And what was it? 1, 7? So, Jesus. Yeah, that's rough. So let's move on to this from sportsmole.co.uk. Hull City versus Millwall. They call it the A2B Stadium, not the MKN. Has it changed? Oh, it says here MKN down here. So they've make your mind up. Is it the A2B Stadium or the MKM? I don't know. So here we go. Both in search of a first championship victory of the season. Yeah, Hull have drawn all of their games so far this season. So we've lost all of our games. Well, it's 2, but you know what I'm saying. They've drawn all their games, so you would imagine something needs to go. So if it's a draw, they carry on their draw streak, but we end our losing streak. If it's a win for either team, then that obviously ends the streak as well. Or if we win, they lose and their draw streak ends. Hull City and Millwall will square off at the MKM Stadium on Saturday in the third round of league fixtures. The hosts have drawn both of their first 2 outings of the new campaign, while the visitors are yet to put a point on the board, following 2 narrow defeats. 2 exciting defeats. I wouldn't call them narrow defeats. A narrow, to me, is just like 1-0 or something like 2-1. But quite exciting games to watch. But, I mean, if you're a Millwall fan, like, it's that final one where the opposition scores is kind of leaves you on a bit of a downer. Hull City will fight for a first victory of the season, the first under new management of Tim Walter on Saturday, with the German boss having taken over from Liam Rossignol over the summer. Well, you know what? Maybe if we win the game, we can get this guy fired. Rossignol led the Tigers to a 7th place championship finish last time around, trailing the final playoff spot by just 3 points, and after a busy pre-season run, they began life under Walter, aiming to build on last season's record. At home to Bristol City on the opening day, the Yorkshire outfit looked set to leave that game empty-handed after Femi Azeezs, we know about him because he scored against us last game, opened the scoring for the visitors in the 84th minute, but they were able to salvage a point in injury time as Oscar Estupinan converted a penalty, and as we know, he ain't going to be there tomorrow. He's off to Mexico. Then following an EFL Cup first round defeat to Sheffield Wednesday, they lost to Sheffield Wednesday. The Tigers visited Plymouth Argyle in their first away outing last weekend, and the game came from behind to take a share of the spoils. That I don't like the sound of that. So the first 2 games, they've gone down and they came back, which is, that's kind of like us. We went 2-0 down, came back both times, and then ended up losing. The following came to take a share of the spoils as Ibrahim Sissoko put the hosts ahead early in the second half, and Louis Coyle tied the scores level at a goal apiece around the hour mark. With positives to take from their opening draws, having seen plenty of squad changes from last term, Hull City will now bid to put a first notch in their wins column on the return to the MKM Stadium at the weekend to move on to 5 points from their first 3 league outings. The visitors, meanwhile, will also go in search of a first victory of the Championship campaign, having not yet managed a point in their first 2 attempts. Neil Harris returned to the Millwall dugout in February with the London outfit sat in a concerning position in the fight for survival in England's second tier, and he oversaw a drastic improvement as they climbed well clear of the drop and up to 13th spot, having earned 26 points from his 15 games at the helm. Harris then guided them into a new term with the aim of another safe championship finish, but after finishing last season with 5 consecutive victories, the Lions were unable to pick up where they left off in their curtain raiser, hosting Watford and succumbing to a 3-2 defeat in an agonising fashion, having drawn level late on through a Duncan Watmore brace, only for Milita Rakovic to restore the visitors' lead in the 90th minute. Boo! Then following a 1-0 EFL Cup victory over Portsmouth, Harris's men set to bounce back in a trip to Bristol City last Saturday, but they were again on the wrong end of a tight, high-scoring contest, having trailed 2-0 at the interval and gone 3-2 up through Romain Esse, Tom Bradshaw and Watmore before Fali Mayulu tied the hosts back level in the 78th minute, and Scott Twine snatched all 3 points 2 minutes from time. Boo! Having now come away empty-handed following late goals in both of their first 2 championship outings, Millwall will be desperate to bounce back on Saturday and get up and running with a 3-point haul in Yorkshire. So that's the history. Now, Here's some team news. Hull City will remain without wingers Ryan Longman and Dugagan Sinic on Saturday as they are confined to the treatment room alongside goalkeeper Harvey Cartwright. Ivor Pandor should again get the nod over summer arrival Anthony Rakiopi to start between the sticks, while Charlie Hughes will likely earn a debut alongside Alfie Jones at the heart of a back four following his switch from Wigan Athletic. That will leave Manchester City loanee Finlay Burns to complete for a midfield spot, while Oscar Atumanan should lead the attack. Well, no, he's out. Millwall will travel to the MKM Stadium without Murray Wallace, Simon Fleming and Billy Mitchell due to injuries, although Neil Harris is able to call on key defender Japhet Tanganga, who served the final game of suspension in last week's defeat to Bristol City. He should come back straight into the side in the middle of the back four alongside Jake Cooper, while Jules Saville and Casper North should continue to partner up in the interim. Ahead of them, George Honeyman could again join Romain Esse and Duncan Watmore, who has netted 3 championship games in their first 2 games in support of a lone striker, with Tom Bradshaw likely to be preferred over summer signing Macaulay Langstaff. I certainly do hope not. Please, can we sign Langstaff? Can we play Langstaff? And they say Hull City 1, Millwall 1. With both sides desperate to record a first league win in the season, we anticipate a cagey encounter in Yorkshire on Saturday. Anticipate a low-scoring draw, with neither having kicked into gear thus far. It is going to be raining. It's going to be raining quite hard. It's going to be coming up from the south. So if you're travelling, I think it's from 5 a.m. So if you're travelling up, there's 400 fans apparently going up, 449 Mill fans going up. So if you're driving up there, take care in the wet conditions as you go up there, depending when you set off. But the hard rain's coming in from 5 a.m. So watch out for that, and it will be raining a bit at Hull while the game is on. We don't know how hard, because obviously the rain's going to land in the south, in Kent and London, and go up to East Anglia. And then we don't know what strength it's going to be when it gets to Hull. But there should be some rain during the game. Could that affect the game? Highly likely. Now, this is the prediction for Sportsmile. How about whoscored.com? Well, let's have a look. So this is the head-to-head we've already seen. So in most recent history, the last 6 games, 4 wins for Hull, no draws, 2 wins for Millwall. Are we due a draw? Is it time for a draw? Maybe. In those 6 games, 7 goals for Hull, 5 goals for Millwall, 11 cards for them, 12 cards for us. It's pretty even stuff there, except for the results. There's the table as it stands now. Does that mean anything? No, it don't. If we do that, obviously we've already talked about these, but these are Hull's home games, so they've scored in both the home games, so they haven't failed to score. Does that mean we can keep a clean sheet? Probably not. And in our away games, we somehow kept a clean sheet in Portsmouth and scored 3 goals against Bristol City, so we haven't failed to score in any of our away games, which again looks like it could be is both teams to score. If that's a bet you do, maybe that's a thing that could be happening. So here's the strengths and weaknesses according to whoscored.com and the styles that exist. The match forecast: Millwall will score as a result of an opposition error. Hull will dominate in the air. Hull will make a comeback if they go behind. Millwall will control the game in the opposition's half. So there you go. But what's the prediction? Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look at this first. Hull have won their last 3 home matches against Millwall in all competitions. There have been under 2.5 goals scored in Hull's last 3 games. So that would suggest if 1-1. Or maybe 2-1. 2. Oh, no, that would be 3. So 1-0. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, it's probably going to be 1-1 there, no? And here we go. Hull were only behind for 11 minutes against Plymouth last weekend before equalising, but a point was of little conversation to Tim Walter, who would have expected to beat a side that were hammered 4-0 on the opening weekend. the German boss is still waiting for his first league win after back-to-back draws. Millwall turned a 2-0 defeat into a 3-2 lead at Ashton Gate last weekend, but two late goals from Fali Mayulu and Scott Twine flipped the result and sent Bristol City away with all 3 points. Neil Harris will be desperate to avoid a third successive defeat to kick off the campaign when his men travel to the MKM Stadium. And they predict Hull 1, Millwall 1. Now that line there, Neil Harris will be desperate to avoid a third successive defeat. How desperate? Is he going to drop the goalkeeper that a lot of people thinking maybe he should? Is he going to drop Tom Bradshaw, who people are wondering how the hell he's still playing? But then, he scored last weekend. He's got a penalty. He's got a penalty. It's a free shot on goal. If you can't score that, then what are you doing? Where's Langstaff? We've got Azeezs now. Is Azeezs going to play? Is he going to come off the bench? I said Azeezs, not Aziz. Azeezs. So, Essay, what more? Fleming, is he back? Is he on the bench? I don't think so, but you never know. Tanganga coming in. Who's playing there with him? Who's at left back? Is Brian going to get dropped? His position against Bristol City was rubbish, unless Neil Harris told him to bomb on. How desperate is Neil Harris to avoid a third successive defeat? Will he make the changes necessary? This is, of course, coming up to a week where we're playing this game Saturday. We play Leyton Orient on Tuesday. We play Sheffield Wednesday next Saturday. I imagine he'll bring the changes for the Leyton Orient game, and probably not for this game. So we wait and see. But again, I believe that I think the game's going to be Hull 2, Millwall 2. That's my prediction. So a draw again, but a first draw for us, because I don't think the changes that need to be made will be made. So I think it's going to be similar to performances that we've already seen in terms of scoring and conceding, but I don't think Hull are going to have enough to do what the other teams have done, especially that they've lost their main man now. You can see on the right hand side, they've only scored 2 goals so far this season. Estupiñán's got one of them, and he's off. He's off to Mexico. So there you go. I don't think they could keep a clean sheet. I'm worried that we can't keep a clean sheet with the goalkeeper that we got in goal. So we'll see how that goes. And we see, obviously, a lot of people calling for George Saville to be dropped. You look on the screen here, you can see he's, according to this website, he's rated at 7.3, although Tom Bradshaw's rated at 6.8. So what does that, I don't know if that means anything. Yeah, I'm going to go 2-2. Both of the websites have shown you gone for 1-1, so there you go. Make of that what you will. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.